Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Nurse Hlali's here and I am back with another video. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Mihlali and I am a registered nurse and midwife. So in this channel I share my journey of being a midwife, of being a wife, and being a mom to be. So right now I'm currently pregnant and I am 31 weeks pregnant. Let me show you on my Flow app. So there you go. Today I am officially 31 weeks pregnant and I couldn't be more excited, you guys. So in today's video I am going to be doing a second trimester recap. If you bumped into me through this video and you want to catch up, so please you can go to my previous video where I spoke about my first trimester recap, and you can also watch all the other videos that I have done thus far documenting my pregnancy experience, and I'm gonna link them up somewhere here or the side so that you can go and catch up on those, and then you can come back and watch this video. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're talking about how my second trimester has been like and how I'm feeling now as I am starting on my third trimester. Okay. Whew, I feel quite out of breath. I don't know, I think I'm speaking too fast. But how we're going to do this video is I'm going to be taking you guys week by week what I was feeling, and I have my notes that I have written down on my notepad. Yeah, so I got everything down here, so don't mind me looking down every now and then just to keep track of where I am at, because I want this video to have some order. Okay, so let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get right into it. Okay, so I started, for the purposes of this video, we will say that the second trimester for me started at 14 weeks, right? Yeah, and one of the things that I had when I was 14 weeks was I had round ligament pain, I had an increased appetite, I had lower abdominal discomfort, and urinary discomfort in the bladder. Yeah, so if you don't know, round ligament pain is the pain that you feel on your lower abdomen. It's very close to your groin. It's either you're going to feel it on the one side or both sides of your lower abdomen. So I started having round ligament pain. It was not bad. I wouldn't say it was like terribly hectic, but I do remember, I wouldn't say it was terribly hectic, but I do remember there was one day where I woke up in the morning. No, in fact, I felt it even through my sleep. I think I felt it more on the right side. Yeah, on the right side. And I felt it during the night as I was sleeping. And then in the morning, I was feeling it as well. And I remember on that day I was going to work. So when I was driving, so I drive an automatic car, and so I use my right foot to do most of the movements, like to accelerate, to brake. Yo guys, I remember when when I'd have to brake, someone maybe stops all of a sudden in front of me and I have to do an emergency brake. Oh, it was so painful. It was so painful being stuck in traffic that morning. It was really painful for me because I constantly had to use the muscles that are around my round ligament on the right side, just close to my groin area. I'll put up a picture so that you guys can see where the specific pain is of round ligament pain. So yeah, no, that was hectic, but surprisingly it didn't last for long. I felt it on that day, and I think after that, yeah, no, I haven't really felt it that much. When I do touch that area, I will feel that, okay, it's a bit tender, but nothing too hectic, nothing that really messed up with my routine, or nothing that I had to like take painkillers for. So it wasn't so bad. And then I was having the increased appetite, guys. Oh, I just wanted to eat every 2 hours. Before pregnancy, I've always been a person that eats quite routinely. So every 4 hours, I always knew that my body will be ready for the next meal. So if I had my breakfast maybe at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, I need to have my lunch. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 6, 7, I need to have my supper. Yes. So I've always been that person who eats at constant intervals and like every day. I do not skip meals. I never skip breakfast. I always have my breakfast, lunch, and supper. But ever since I was pregnant, I realized that, yeah, my appetite was really increased. After 2 hours, I'm already hungry. I need to eat something else. So I really had to be intentional about having snacks. Eat breakfast, have a snack between breakfast and lunch, and then after lunch, have another snack to keep me going. I just wanted to eat all the time. So yeah, hubby and I had to make sure that we always have snacks in the house, and the things that I would snack on, it's things like nuts, it's things like yogurt, it's things like fruit. Yeah, though with the dairy yogurt I had to like stop it at some point. But yeah, I think when I was still in my second trimester, I was still having like dairy. Yeah, so, and we'd mix maybe like the dairy yogurt with fruit and nuts and that sort of thing. So yeah, but no, pregnancy appetite is crazy. Pregnancy appetite is crazy. I wouldn't say I had cravings necessarily, but yeah, I just needed to eat a lot more than usual. Yeah, then I had this discomfort in my lower abdomen, because my tummy at that time was not that big. It was not that big. It was still like growing, because yeah, my tummy actually started showing around 14 weeks, 15 weeks thereabout. Yes, but in my lower abdomen I just had this discomfort. If I'm wearing like jeans or anything that is tied in that area, I would just get so uncomfortable, especially maybe when I sit in the car, then I would be so uncomfortable. And yeah, like I was frequently peeing, so I couldn't keep a lot of pee in my bladder. So I always felt uncomfortable with having urine in my bladder, and I had to pee a lot. So in my 14th week, that's what I was experiencing. And then when I turned 15 weeks, 15 and 16 weeks, I started having like chronic tension headaches. Before pregnancy, I did suffer from chronic tension headaches. What stopped them in the first trimester? Yeah, I actually can't remember, but I don't think I was having them in my first trimester. It's when I got to the second trimester that I started having the headaches again. Oh guys, it was terrible. Oh, it was so debilitating. Like every day I'm feeling muscle tension on my neck and my temples, and I just had these tension headaches, and it was so debilitating. Yeah, to the point that I spoke to a GP that I work with, and he advised that I start taking magnesium supplements. And I had been taking magnesium before that, but I would take like magnesium maybe that I bought from the retail stores where we buy cosmetics, and I don't think those magnesium supplements were working that much. So when my colleague, the GP that I work with, he advised me to take magnesium that he was selling at his practice, and I started taking that one specifically. Oh guys, it was heaven. Like it literally took away those headaches, and I was such a happy girl after that, because then I didn't have to have headaches every day, which was really nice for me, Shem. Yeah. So yeah, I think on my 15th and 16th week, that's what I experienced. And I remember around that time, it was around the time when I found out that my cousin passed away, who was also pregnant at the time. And I think maybe the headaches also just came back because it was such a stressful period and we had to go home for the funeral. So yeah, then my headaches were back. Okay, so after that, now it's 16 weeks, I started feeling fluttering movements, having back pain as well, and discomfort when sitting. So I remember the very first time I felt any movement at all. I had accompanied my husband to go and cut his hair at the barber. So when I was sitting there outside, yeah, it was no, actually this was the week that I found out that my cousin passed away. I remember, because I think I had found out that my cousin passed away on this specific day, actually, when I started feeling the flutters. So as I was I accompanied my husband to go to the barber because I didn't want to stay here at home by myself that day after we heard the news, because I was just an emotional wreck. Then while I was sitting outside and he was getting his hair cut, I felt two waves. It felt like a wave, like swoosh. Yeah, it felt like a swoosh. So I felt it the first time, and it was like low down in my abdomen, like where my uterus was, and I was just like, no, this is the first time I get this feeling. Is that my baby? And then while I was still thinking about it, I felt another swoosh. And I was like, no, that is definitely my baby. That is definitely my baby. So that was quite, yeah, it was quite interesting, man. It was quite interesting. I was very excited. I couldn't wait to start feeling the baby move. So yeah, and then so that was my 16th week, and then I think 17 weeks, then I started feeling them more when I was at home now for the funeral. Because I remember there was one day I was out with my sister. We went to the mall to get a few things in preparation for the funeral, and we bought food and we were eating in the car, and I felt the baby play. So oh man, now that was nice, because then I started feeling the movements a bit more, and yeah, I was able to detect that, okay, no, I think this is the baby moving, and that was exciting. Then I started having the back pain. Yeah, I started having this back pain, and I'd get uncomfortable if I'm sitting for too long, like on the couch. I would have this like upper back pain that would force me to just get off the couch, and I would rather kneel on the floor. That was much more comfortable for me. Yeah, so that was quite weird because my tummy was still like really small, but yeah, I felt that discomfort. Yeah, so that was that. And then at 18 weeks I started getting like some dizzy spells. I remember I was out in field service this one time, and we were standing, and I just started feeling like, oh, I'm getting out of breath, and I'm starting to feel dizzy, you know, lightheaded, to the point that I felt like I'm gonna fall. Yeah, I felt like that. And I remember I had felt that as well when I came back home. I can't remember where I was coming from, and I got up the stairs and I got to our place, and then I put the things that I was carrying down. Then I came to my room and I just started feeling dizzy and lightheaded, and I sat on the bed and I was just feeling more and more dizzy. I called my husband. I was like, I'm so dizzy, I feel like I'm going to fall. And he came and held me, and I started sort of like leaning forward, and it feels like I blacked out for a moment there, but he was there and he held me, and I was just feeling so lightheaded. But that's not something that happened a lot, shame. It only happened twice, the time when I was at field and then when I was at home. So nothing too hectic, wasn't bad. Then the next thing that I felt, okay, at 19 weeks we went for our fetal anomaly scan, and I was still having back pain. And I was using the pregnancy pillow at this time, but hey man, the back pain was just not going away, and I'd feel it a lot if I've been walking for too long, or if I've been standing for too long, maybe while cooking or doing chores in the house. Yeah, so that was that. Then at 21 weeks I had this terrible cough that just came out of nowhere. My husband and I and my brother-in-law, we had been out, and then after that outing, we all three of us had like this irritated throat, and then I started having like a cough a few days later, and apparently my brother-in-law also had a bit of like a cough, you know, or fluish symptoms, but he had like flu. I didn't have flu, I just had this cough. And when I started having the scratchy throat, usually before I was pregnant, that would be a telltale sign for me that I'm gonna have flu. But instead of me having like flu-like symptoms like fever, headache, general body malaise, I didn't have those things. It progressed to the sore throat, progressed to a cough that was dry initially, that became a wet cough, and I thought it maybe would go away because I wasn't feeling sick. I didn't have any flu-like symptoms. I thought it would go away, but no, it just became a wet cough, and I eventually went to get antibiotics. Yeah, and even after taking the antibiotics, it took quite some time for the cough to go away. And the doctor, I remember, had put me on prednisone as well to decrease inflammation in my lungs, because now I was producing this phlegm. Oh guys, I had that cough for like 3 weeks or something, which was very weird for me because I've never ever had even a flu that lasts for more than 3 days. I have never been a flu person before pregnancy, and if I would have flu, I'd feel that it's coming on one day, the second day I'm really sick, headache, fever, and I'm just fatigued, sore throat, cough. Then the following day it's my recovery day, and after that I'm fine. So this was something that was completely new for me, that I experienced in this pregnancy. And then after that, my husband was the one who had these symptoms now, and then he also had to be on antibiotics. So it was just a weird thing where we all just got sick, and it was a weird sickness that we've never had before outside of my pregnancy. So yeah, that was really, really weird. And then I also, at 21 weeks, I also had one day I woke up with these period cramps, and as I woke up early that day, maybe at around 4, because I think I could feel the baby move, and then I was having that lower abdominal pain, like the period cramps, and they didn't go away, guys, up until 11, around 11, 12, and they were quite regular, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm 21 weeks. Are these Brexit hicks? What the heck? So I remember I went to the hospital and made an unscheduled visit to the gynae, because I was just like, no ways, what is going on? And then the gynae was like, it's probably the fibroid that she had detected when I was 12 weeks. And she said it's something that's called fibroid degeneration, where the blood flow to the fibroid is probably getting cut off. So the fibroid is like basically dying off, or shrinking, and that is why I was having that pain. And when she did the sauna and she put the probe on my uterus exactly where the fibroid was, then the pain became worse. But then fortunately she prescribed some pain meds for me, and after taking those pain meds, maybe I think for 1 day, 2 days, then I was fine after that, and then I never felt that pain again. Okay, then at 24 weeks, the baby's movements were like strong. The kicks were so strong. There was one day where I had like this very vivid dream, and I woke up. It was around 4 a.m. and the baby was playing. She was playing. I couldn't even go back to sleep. I woke up so early at 4 o'clock because of the dream. But now what kept me from going back to sleep was the movement. The movement started getting like really, really strong and quite uncomfortable as well. Because now she was getting bigger and she was like stretching in my tummy. When I lie down on my side, oh Sana, it was like I have a snake in my tummy. It was so uncomfortable, you guys. I don't know why no one has ever told me about this part of pregnancy, that the movements are uncomfortable. And I was telling my husband, I'm like, okay, I know baby movements are always like a positive sign. They tell you that your baby is doing well. When your baby's not moving, you have to be worried. I mean, as a midwife, I've preached that to so many moms. But one thing that I didn't expect is that the movements would be quite uncomfortable. To the point that I started thinking, Bana, yo, is this what I'm going to have to go through for the next 16 weeks of this pregnancy? What do you mean when I lie down to sleep during the day or even at night, the baby starts moving a lot and I can't relax and I can't actually fall asleep because now the movements are just so strong. So yeah, that's one thing I didn't expect. I didn't expect that. So it did get frustrating a bit at the beginning, and then I was like, but I should be happy about this. Why am I not happy and excited about the movements, you know? Why do I feel anxious when I'm feeling her move, especially at night when I want to sleep? So I was like, okay, I was trying to find a way to just be okay with the movements and be excited for my baby and talk to her when she's moving and be warm towards her. Then okay, I think it started getting better. I started getting used to the movements, and yeah, I think I just had to let go of the pressure to fall asleep, you know, especially when I felt them at night. I'd just be like, okay, me and my baby, we are up right now and we're gonna sleep when we sleep, so let me just embrace these movements, and it's okay, I'm gonna fall asleep when I fall asleep. And yeah, I think once I stopped stressing about the movements and stressing about, oh, how will I be able to fall asleep, then it actually got better. Okay, and then when I was 26 weeks, I started having pelvic pain. And this one was a bit disturbing, because then now it became extremely difficult for me to turn over when I'm in bed. Like I just had this pain in between my legs, something that's called pubic symphysis disorder. Started having that because turning over in bed was extremely painful. And by this time I had long ditched the pregnancy pillow because I realized that it's not working for me. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. And remember, it was giving me that upper back pain, so I was like, no, I need to find another sleep setup. And yeah, because the pregnancy pillow was just not working for me, guys. And then I did find like a way to set up my sleep area, and that was a bit more comfortable for me, so the upper back pain was better. And then I just started having this pelvic pain and this pubic symphysis pain, and so yeah, putting on pants started becoming quite difficult. So now I found that I had to sit when I'm putting on pants, and turning over in bed, like dreadful. Yeah, and then the pelvic pain, man, my pelvis just felt, loose, and I was walking like a penguin. Felt like my pelvis is so loose. And then I was like, you know what, I need to bring out my yoga ball. And I started using my yoga ball, and I actually felt better. I actually started feeling better after using the yoga ball. And at this time, my husband was also like, oh, you know what, it's fine, he will do the chores in the house, because all of the chores like require bending. Cleaning requires bending, sweeping, mopping, those kind of things. And then he was like, okay, he'll take over the chores so that I don't have to struggle with a lot of back pain, and then I still have to cook our meals. But ever since my husband took over with the chores, and then I was using the yoga ball, the lower back pain and the pelvic pain got better. But the thing that was still there was the pubic symphysis pain that I was experiencing, especially when I try and turn over in bed. Yeah, but shame, oh, I have to say, the yoga ball has really helped me. I literally felt like a normal person after that. I really felt like a normal person. I can walk normally. Obviously, walking for long periods of time, I will still get tired and get that lower back pain. But immediately when I rest, I will feel better. Yeah, and then at 27 weeks, my baby's movements were visible on my tummy now. Yeah, when she kicks, you can see that kick, or when she like rolls, you can see the roll on the tummy. And the movements were quite hectic. Yeah, so that is basically how my second trimester has been like. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't say that it's been a bad experience. A lot of the things that I've been feeling, or I felt in my second trimester, were things that I can say were still quite bearable. Yeah, it's like mild to moderate. Nothing severe, nothing too debilitating that I can't go on with life. And I've tried different strategies to manage all of these discomforts, as you have heard. So overall, I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. Not at all. Yeah, so now I'm 31 weeks, and yeah, I think ever since I've gotten into my third trimester, emotionally I've been quite having quite a few mood swings, emotional. Yeah, I think throughout this pregnancy I was like fine but now in this third trimester, yeah, I've been quite emotional. But yeah, man, overall I've enjoyed my second trimester. So now we are a few weeks away from baby coming, and the anxiety is building up really. But I honestly just can't wait to meet my baby. I'm so grateful that I've had a great support system. My husband has been very supportive, and you know, he's really just been helping me as well, you know, to be in a good mental state. Yeah, so it's been a nice journey. Honestly, I do feel like I am enjoying my pregnancy, and I love being pregnant. This pregnancy has been good to me, and yeah, I think I'll definitely do this again. I don't know if the third trimester is gonna change my mind. I hope not, but judging just from the second trimester, I'll definitely do this again. So yeah guys, that is everything on my second trimester. I really hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you to learn a bit more about pregnancy, especially if you are someone who's never been pregnant before. I hope you've learned something, and yeah, to all the other mommies who have been pregnant, I hope you could relate to some of the things that I mentioned. And if you do actually relate to some of the things, please drop a comment in the comment section below. I'll really appreciate your engagement. And if you have enjoyed this video guys, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out whenever I post a video. So that is it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you on my next video. Bye. Mwah.